Alright, moment of truth. It doesn't get much beefier than this, does it? 150 Juggernaut. Please don't fall off. Yoink. And... oh, no, don't fall off. Oh my god. Wow, that is, wow. Damn, that deserves a high five. So, what in the clam can shred a level 150 Juggernaut just like that? Well, it is a combination of things. We are running Wukong once again because Wukong is amazing, and we're once again going to take advantage of his Celestial Twin ability, which we're going to equip with the Ignis. Now, the build here, for the most part, doesn't matter, and the important mods are High Voltage and Rime rounds for magnetic and status, as well as Thermite rounds for heat and status. This is what makes the setup reliable enough to actually be useful. Then we're gonna combo that with the Deconstructor weapon for a Sentinel, and here we have a bit of a funky setup. So we have Rebound, so that the glyph bounces up to 4 times, Volcanic Edge and Virulent Scourge for gas damage and status, Vicious Frost for cold damage and status, and then some set mods. So we have Motus Impact so that we get the free 33% chance to resist a knockdown while airborne, which is awesome. Then we have Gladiator Rush and Gladiator Vice, which not only buffs the Sentinel's damage, but it also gives you a mini Blood Rush effect even though it's on a Sentinel weapon. And this does two things. It takes good crit weapons and makes them red crit faster, and it also takes some of the weaker crit weapons and makes them more crit viable by giving you more scaling. And the final mod we're running is Primed Fury for just a ton of attack speed, so the Sentinel attacks faster when we approach an enemy. And finally, the cherry on top of the cake is gonna be your fattest crit-based melee weapon, which in my case is the Paracesis, where I'm running the biggest build possible. So I'm running Cleaving Whirlwind as my stance, which has a stupid amount of damage on the pulse combo, which is the Rufflecopter. I'm then running Primed Pressure Point for as much melee damage as possible. I'm also running Sacrificial Steel for an insane amount of base crit, and this allows me to basically start red critting as soon as I hit the 2x combo multiplier because of the combination of A, Blood Rush, which is the next mod, and B, the Gladiator mods we have on our Sentinel's melee weapon. Then we of course want some crit damage, so we're running Organ Shatter, and then there is a mod that you don't usually run on a fat crit weapon like this, Condition Overload. And the reason this works and why I'm running it here is because we're getting 2 status effects from the clone and 3 status effects from Helios with the Deconstructor. Then I'm running a pretty chunky Riven with a lot of attack speed, a ton of melee damage, though it's an anti-meme strike at the same time as well, and we top it off with Primed Fever Strike and Choke in Touch for a lot of corrosive damage. Now, I thought I was doing some pretty dumb damage in my previous video, and I was, but then I went into the comments and some people mentioned that I think it was Brozyme who found out that you can actually stat stick the Deconstructor, so I started playing around with that, and then I was like, what if I go like Condition Overload on a crit weapon and I provide a status with something else? And here is the result, and it is absolutely and utterly ridiculous. It destroys level 150 Juggernauts, Noxes, Rathum dudes, bosses, everything. It just kills everything. The only thing that can prevent this dumbness is an invulnerability mechanic like we have here on Gorth. I mean, seriously, just look at this. Those have like, what, 4.5 million effective health? And I'm two-shotting them, sometimes even one-shotting them. That's how dumb this damage is. And by the way, this is not a bullshit simulacrum build, right? This isn't some Banshee overlapping shenanigans. It works in normal missions. This is my fixed stick Wukong setup that I made a video about yesterday. I just changed the weapons and I added a companion. Is the damage always gonna be as dumb as it was in some of the simulacrum clips? No, because there was just one enemy, so both the Sentinel as well as the Celestial Twin would focus on it and proc a lot of status really fast. And that's not always going to happen in normal missions where both the Sentinel as well as the Celestial Twin can get distracted by other enemies. But even if that happens and they don't proc any status on the enemy you're fighting, you're still using a very fat crit weapon that's just missing a mod. So chances are you still have enough damage to finish off whatever you're fighting, and if you feel like you don't, you can just use the Iron Staff. And that is pretty much all I wanted to say, so I thank you very much for watching. As always guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!